Florida State to a 13-0 record and an ACC championship. Florida State head coach Mike Norvell has been named one of the finalists for the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award. The Seminoles' undefeated regular season was the 7th in school history. Former University of Florida quarterback and Gator great Tim Tebow was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in Las Vegas on Tuesday night.
It's not just about going in, it's about what you represent, and I also say the honor of these amazing players that I get to go in with.
At your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10:02, it's 62 degrees. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
There's the snap. McPherson kicks it up. The 48-yard field goal is good, and they have come to Jacksonville and beaten the Jaguars 34-31 in overtime on a Monday night at Everbank Stadium.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and
Hold my pocket,
Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. I am officially out of my semi-depressive state, right? Got my nap in yesterday, Tony, so I'm ready to clear the decks and hopefully try to focus on what the Jags can do positively in the final 5 weeks of the season. But the injuries are hanging like a cloud over this matchup with the Cleveland Browns ahead. But I feel like I don't think I'm an extremist on the Jags, right? I do live in the moment. And Tony will probably tell you, you watch a game with me, it's like, oh, my God, it's gloom and doom. Something goes wrong. They're up 21-0 pockets, and the Jags give up a field goal. I'm like, damn it, it's slipping away.
That's it.
That's kind of how I am.
Yeah, you're more the pessimist than the optimist.
I am more
in the
the
moment.
pessimist,
yeah.
right? But, I mean, some of the stuff that I see from people out there make me think, I'm nowhere near that. You know what? I'm just really not an extremist when it comes to that. Just a couple of replies as I was going through some of the reaction from yesterday. I do read all the things you sent. We don't read them all on the air.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we read a few select ones, whatever. Or, you know, sometimes if you're interested, if you're following along the program, the threads are just kind of fun to read through to see what other people's opinions are on a subject matter that means something to you.
No doubt.
So, a couple of them yesterday that I got coming in, just asking for a reaction to the game. And it is your reaction. I'm just struck by some of them. What's it going to take for the Jags to be a team that doesn't lose like that? San Francisco, Philadelphia, Miami, and a few more would not have taken the beating we did. The score doesn't reflect how poorly we played. Okay.
I would say the scoreboard usually reflects how the game went.
Usually, but I get it. I felt the Jags played better against the Texans than the final score indicated, right? I thought the Jags were pretty much in control of that game.
Sure,
right?
The defense got absolutely hammered on Monday night. The offense was fine.
Yes. But, and I get it. Like, if you felt like because of that, you were never going to stop Cincinnati, and I got that. Like,
right, and I
end.
get being in your feelings coming out of that game. Like, I said it right after the game, get through it however you need to get through it, right? And hopefully we're doing a job here that allows you to at least get it out. If the people in your circle are tired of hearing you complain about what happened on Monday night, bring them to us. That's fine. Like, it's not going to hurt our feelings for you to complain about what happened with the Jaguars game on Monday.
It's just going to help me put my own thoughts in perspective a little bit here, okay? And to the point where look, when you had Beathard in there, Tony, I think I asked at one point, if they go down in overtime and it's like 4th and goal at the 3-yard line and there are 5 minutes left, do you kick the field goal to take the lead, knowing that you've got to stop Cincinnati, or do you go for it and try to win the game right there?
Yeah, that may have been the result if the Calvin Ridley catch had stood, but
we
don't know.
Right,
yeah.
You know, but who knows? So hopefully they would have punched it in. They would have had 1st and goal at the 2. But the point being, you and I talk about this amongst ourselves all the time. Sometimes we bring it up on the air. I think people get so down the rabbit hole with the team that they care about, and their vision is only focused on that.
They don't see the league.
The examples in this very tweet. San Francisco, Philadelphia, Miami, and a few more would not have taken a beating like we did. Well, let's review the tape. Okay? Philadelphia lost to the Zach Wilson-led New York Jets.
They did.
Right? Now, is that worse than losing to Jake Browning? I don't know that it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Cincinnati and the Jets probably are the rest of the rosters are fairly comparable. They're both thought with their quarterback of choice, they're going to be playoff contenders. Cincinnati may be a Super Bowl contender. Others thought the Jets might be. Yeah. Whatever. That's
and they
one
just
example.
got beat down by the Niners, too.
Right.
It's different. It's not. I get what you're saying.
The Niners are like the elite.
I get it. It's the Browning comparison.
Right. Like, I don't think anybody's saying, oh, man, how did the Jags ever lose to Kansas City? Right? And yes, they got beat down by San Francisco, and you're disturbed by the margin and the ease of it, but not the fact that you lost to San Francisco.
No.
I think the fact that you lost to Cincinnati with Jake Browning, with all the circumstances, is enough. Forget this.
It's got people up in arms.
Could have been a 3-point overtime game like it was. Could have been a 17-point regulation victory.
Sure.
And it would have had people upset either way. San Francisco lost to the Cleveland Browns when P.J. Walker was playing quarterback this year. Miami, the very week before the Jaguars beat the Buffalo Bills, Miami lost to that same exact Bills team by 28 points. So you telling me Miami would not have taken the beating we did? They took a much worse one.
Yeah.
By 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. And
the Jags, not 2 months later, when a bunch of injuries set in, the very next week, beat that Bills team.
Yeah. To give you an idea of what the NFL is, that's the NFL, right? It's that the Buffalo Bills early on in the season, they beat Miami as badly as they did the week before they played the Jags in London, and the conversation coming out of that with the Bills beating Miami that badly was, are the Bills the best team in the NFL?
The best team in the league. Statement game. AFC East is still ours. We got, sandbagged in week 1 and lost to the Jets, and that's not the real Bills team. And look at us now, and we're going to hit our stride.
Yeah. And now they're in a position where they can't afford to go less than 4-1 in the last 5 to probably make the playoffs.
Right, and Miami's the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah,
at the moment, right?
It's the league. So it happens.
It does happen, even to the best teams out there. Now, I'm not saying this was an acceptable loss. I'm sure those teams felt those losses were unacceptable as well.
Mm-hmm.
But to suggest that the Jags are the only team in contention for like a high playoff seed that this happens to.
Yeah. What did Miami and Philadelphia do the next week?
Miami, I know, won. They both won.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both won. Because
Okay.
Philly only had the one loss until this week. And I don't remember exactly.
The good teams don't stack them up. That's how you find out if your team's any good. It doesn't happen week after week. It happens every now and then where someone gets you, but it doesn't happen all the time, and you overcome whatever the adversity is to find a way to win.
Did Purdy miss all those 49er losses?
Purdy didn't.
Debo missed one
Debo
or two.
did. Williams missed all of them.
Yeah, they were banged up. I mean, like San Fran, though, to me, if the evidence is not great enough, I don't know when it will be, unless they just steamroll their way through the postseason. They're clearly the best team in the league.
There's no doubt. I mean, I was looking at it this weekend. The 3 losses they had, they scored 17 points, and that's when they were dealing with those injuries to Williams and Debo, and those kind of things were happening to the team. When they have their guys on the field, I don't think the 49ers are a deep football team. I think they're very top-heavy, but their top is crazy good, right? Especially on the offensive side of the ball. When they don't have those guys, they lost 3 games. They were scoring 17 points a game in those games. If you take that out, the 49ers are scoring 35 points a game. They are ridiculously good when they have all their options available to them. And Philadelphia just found out about it for sure, right? Like, that's the team that's supposed to be at the top of the NFC. San Francisco said, all right, we'll have something to say about who's the top of the NFC. We lost those 3 games in a row. Our guys are back, right? And put the whole league on notice. They are clearly the best team in the NFL right now. If they're healthy, they're going to be tough to get out.
Yeah, by the way, they lost to the Bengals by 14. Of course, Joe Burrow was the quarterback, right?
Yep.
So it's a huge difference, and I get that. But they did have Purdy in that game. They had McCaffrey in that game. They had Ayuk. They had Kittle. They didn't have Debo.
Didn't have Debo, and
that's
didn't
one
have
guy.
Trent. Yeah.
You're gonna have to get. Minnesota went on a 5-game winning streak as soon as they lost Justin Jefferson this year.
Yes, they did.
You got to find a way to adapt. I know it's easier said than done because I hate the cliche of next man up because the next man up's not as good as the first man up. Sometimes he can kind of rally the effort and play.
It's the mentality you have to have when you lose a guy. It's the next man up, but there's a reality.
That's all you got, right? The reality is if he was as good as that guy or better, he'd be out there already. Yeah. But, and the depth is what it is. The reserves are just not going to be as good. But regardless, he had that one. And then this one on Trevor Lawrence. Jake Browning played like the generational quarterback, and Trevor played like the backup. When is he going to show up? What? This is what I got yesterday. Like, Trevor Lawrence was the problem? I get it. He had a few plays, like that throw to Parker Washington, got bailed out, right? I mean, he threw the ball a little bit behind Zay Jones. Are we saying he has to be perfect on every throw? He had a passer rating of over 125. Mm-hmm. He didn't throw a pick. He counted for 3 touchdowns. And he didn't get to finish the game because he got stepped on. I mean, what do you mean he played like the backup?
Yeah.
I mean, the defense played like, I don't know even how to characterize it, but I just, so is it the bottom line? If your team loses, the quarterback can't have played well?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, 2 quarterbacks can't have a great duel, and I'm not saying this was a great duel. It shouldn't have been a great duel, in my opinion, okay? But I think Trevor Lawrence held up his end of the bargain.
Without question.
I wonder, is that somebody who just in the back of their mind was skeptical of Trevor Lawrence or what? You know what I mean? And
I don't know what would convince them to come off of
those
that.
Kind of people, whether it's that or any other subject, they look for anything that they think will bolster their argument. And aha, there's evidence. He didn't beat Jake Browning. Therefore, he must be less than Jake Browning.
Yeah.
The defense was less than Jake Browning.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence was 22 of 29 for 258 yards and 2 touchdowns, and it snuck in a third on Sunday before the injury. They were on a drive that could have ended in the end zone again, right, for that Jaguars offense this week. As I said before the show when we were discussing this, Trevor Lawrence was on his way to being in the discussion for the Offensive Player of the Week in the league for the 3rd week in a row. That's the kind of game Trevor Lawrence was playing, and there's at least one out there who thinks he should be the backup to Browning.
I mean, I get it. Browning had a great game.
It's nuts.
And you can argue, Jake Browning had a better game. They won.
Played a great game.
He was fantastic. But Trevor's not out there trying to cover
They're
the
not
slot
head-to-head.
receiver.
Yeah.
He's not trying to come off the edge and put pressure on him. It's odd to me. So anyway, today, can anticipate we're going to hear a lot of backup names called this week, right? Because you're going to have Parker Washington playing for Kirk. Maybe you're going to have Beathard starting. I mean, I think it's going to be Beathard, but that's just a thought. I have no more inside on that than anybody else. You've heard the public comments of Doug Peterson. You'll hear them again on the program today. But I think it'll be Beathard. But you got Beathard playing perhaps for Trevor. You got Blake Hance for Walker Little, perhaps. You got Greg Jr. for Herndon, and all these things are possibilities, right? I hope they all get healthy and they sprinkle the healing powers and powders and whatever, and it's great. But if you assume they all had to start, which one of these guys, Beathard, Washington, Hance, or Jr., you have the most confidence in? And I understand, if you look at the box score, totally get it. And even if you don't, even if you factor everything in, you may still come to the same conclusion that Parker Washington is the guy. I just think it's interesting that it has been reported through multiple sources that Parker Washington didn't execute the play properly in which Trevor got hurt, and by not having his head turned around caused Trevor to hang on to the football. And maybe, you can't know exactly where his foot would have been spatially. If he releases that football, maybe somebody else steps on it, right? Mm-hmm. But it did happen the way it happened.
Yeah.
And yet, I trust the guy that got the quarterback laid up for at least the rest of the game more than any of these other options. I just thought it was interesting. And by the way, I'm not sure I wouldn't pick the same option. We'll debate those a little bit later on. So anyway, you can go to the Twitter poll if you want and just cast a one-click ballot. Over 340 have already done that. We just put that thing up there. So, obviously you're still engaged right now. And why wouldn't you be? You're in first place. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are. Got to find a way to beat the Cleveland Browns this week. We'll discuss that today. John Oehser is going to come in. Got a bunch of folks want to get in on the phone line, so we'll do that in the very next segment. Might have Donovan Darius pop by. I'm not sure. Double D. I might grace you with my presence or not. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But today, let us know, assuming they all had to start, which backup you have the most confidence in that there won't be this drastic fall off from what you've seen. By the way, Christian Kirk, pretty damn good, and we heard a lot about it. It wasn't. I don't think it was just that one play. And I get it. He's a rookie. He hasn't played much on offense. You're out there on Monday Night Football in a big moment. I'm not trying to bury Parker Washington saying that he's never going to have a great career. I voted for him for player of the game before I realized his role in the injury kind of thing. I thought his performance on the field was outstanding, right? Caught all 6 of his targets and broke that play up in the end zone and got himself a touchdown out of it, which was phenomenal, and handled the return duties as well. So not saying it's the wrong answer. I just think it's interesting that he is the clear-cut choice of over 60% of the people so far, given those options. All right, 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines if you want to get in, or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We'll get your calls in next. We'll hear from Doug Peterson as he spoke yesterday, obviously a day later than usual because of the Monday night game this week, and we'll start to turn our attention to what we can get done versus these Cleveland Browns coming up this weekend, another team that without their quarterback is fighting for their playoff lives right now. So they're going to be desperate and backs against the wall mentality, and going to go out there and give you everything they've got this week, and that's what you should expect and nothing less every week in the National Football League. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark here with you. 641-1010, the easiest way to get on board. We'll go to your calls next. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. You know what? Never a bad time to start your day off with a little snack from Dandy. Maybe it's a breakfast slider. Maybe it's just, you know what? You want a little sandwich at 10:30 in the morning. You know what? Everyone's on a different schedule. Everybody likes different options for their food. What you don't want is to be weighed down. Dandy's got a lot of convenient grab-and-go options that are ready to eat. Some of them you want to pop in the microwave for about 60 seconds. Others you can eat right out of the package. And the beauty is, it's really up to you. With great variety, I went into a Gate station just on Monday, and about 35 different Dandy items. I count from time to time because I'm that guy. But they had my tuna salad. That's great for me. Might not be great for you. That's the great thing. Dandy's got sandwiches, subs, breakfast items, light lunchtime wraps, salads, you name it. Protein packs, all kinds of lighter fare as well. If you want to fill up but not be filled and weighted down, Dandy's the name to know. So go out and make yours a Dandy and do it today.
It's another Weight Loss Wednesday. Awaken 180 Weight Loss in the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios, where the pros go. Jaguars and Gators, pro, college, and high school sports.
Wow!
Get the most play-by-play on 1010XL, Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio. This classic Army-Navy game moment is brought to you by Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
I was fortunate to play in 3 Army-Navy games. I got to run out of the tunnel first my senior year at Army-Navy, in '82 season. It was an experience that I'll remember the rest of my life, every one of those games. I remember plays, I remember games, I remember faces. Is all encompassing as far as your emotions. A great experience. I wouldn't trade those experiences for anything in my life.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about exceptional customer service. From the first call to the final inspection, Superior's team provides first-class care with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com. More than qualified to handle your roof. Call J&M and we'll show you the proof. Check with our customers and they all say only one way to go, the J&M way.
Hurricane season is now through late October. If your home sustains damage, don't wait. Call us. J&M Roofing, storm restoration specialists. J&M Roofing under the umbrella. Call 904-337-0509.
License number CCC 1331951.
Five-Star Pizza delivers a symphony of flavors for an extraordinary artisanal experience.
Dude, come on. It's a pizza.
Well, have you seen their Piezilla? It barely fits through the doorway. Call Five-Star Pizza now and cry out for a Piezilla!
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about being a peacemaker. Friends, so often we can only want to help people who are in our inner circle. But God never had inner circles. The world was his inner circle, and he's depending on us to make a difference and to leave our mark in this life. So go out today receiving his peace and then sharing it with the world.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Keep up with Norvell's Knowles on the Seminole Report.
I'm RJ Saunders, and I'll keep you up to date on Florida State with the latest Garnet and Gold Nuggets.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
No dental insurance? No problem. Introducing the Care Plus program from the dental offices of Dr. James McCall. For only $625 per year, you will receive 2 cleanings and dental exams, a full set of x-rays, plus 1 emergency dental exam and x-ray. You'll also receive a 20% discount on all other services offered. Kids 12 and under will receive the same program for only $525. Call Dr. McCall today at 620-9225.
Dan Hicken here for Bow Nye & Associates. I want to remind you that now is the perfect time to schedule your eye exam. Take advantage of your existing insurance benefits before they reset in January. Join the many satisfied patients who trust Bow Nye with their vision. Schedule your eye exam now and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with clear and healthy eyes. And remember, your deductibles reset in January, so don't miss out on the benefits you've already earned. Bow Nye & Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com/shadows. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
A sale so big, Santa wants to get in on it. It's Beard's Diamonds' incredible Christmas sale with 43% off.
Pendants, bracelets, earrings, engagement rings.
Nobody beats Beard's Diamonds prices
At the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Toilet or shower not draining? Water bill high? So many issues you want to cry? Call Mr. Rooter of Jacksonville. Have your number 2 business serviced by your number 1 plumber. Let us do your dirty work. Call us today.
Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying. They can also signal a major problem or electrical emergency. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
888-8 Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Just like those little holiday snow globes, you better get ready to shake up the season because Toyotathon is on at Arlington Toyota. Right now at Arlington, get financing as low as 2.99% on 10 new Toyota models. And Arlington has more than 500 new Toyotas available. Plus, every new Toyota purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty. Toyotathon is on at Arlington. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online 24/7 at arlingtontoyota.com.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Osher. Brought to you by
Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
On 1010XL.
Looked worse than it really was. Very fortunate there. But, he seems to have a little bit of a knack. But I just think that for the most part, just been fortunate, to not have a serious injury than what they are.
Doug Peterson giving you a little optimism right there. Trevor Lawrence is like Plastic Man. You bend him in a lot of different directions, and he generally snaps back. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for him to snap back into shape, but
hadn't missed the game yet.
Not too long, right? Yeah. We've seen our football competitive lives flash in front of us. I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this, right? It's not our lives. It's not the end of the world. We're not going to die if Trevor Lawrence misses a game or the rest of the season or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
this is the third time. We'll see if he's able to play the week after it for the third time. Like, he played the second half against Detroit. Like, when he came back out and was running, it was like, holy cow, this guy.
It was like the season's over.
Yeah.
And then he came back. Wasn't able to win that game, but we're all like...
Didn't lose again that year.
And then didn't lose again until Kansas City in the postseason. Yeah. So one more, and then want to pay off these phone callers are waiting patiently here. Just on Trevor Lawrence from Doug Peterson, said he wants Trevor to be 100% before he puts him back on the field.
I want to make sure that Trevor's 100%, before I put him or any player back on the field. It's just a matter of their, as a player too, the tolerance that they can withstand with any injury. And you just don't want to risk if the player is not in any harm or could risk further damage to the area, then you have to consider it. But definitely don't want to risk further injury.
Right. Those are two different things, though, in my opinion. Right. Like, you can have an injury that you can play through. It's going to be maybe limit your mobility or whatever, but the likelihood of you doing significantly more damage is no greater than if you were playing and starting with a fresh, healthy ankle, leg, whatever the case may be. So, and you also hear NFL players tell you, once the season kicks off, nobody's 100%, right? If you've been playing anyway, you could probably, and that, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't think they're going to go, Trevor, do you feel anything in there? And if you do, you can't play, right? So the 100% thing is more towards, can he do what he needs to be functional and protect himself?
Well, a lot of the talk leading up to the Thursday night game against the Saints, it felt like going into game day that there were probably people that were like, I don't know. Even in the building, they were like, I don't know if Trevor's going to be able to go. And it felt like Trevor said, watch me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm playing tonight.
I'm not only going to play, I'm going to run.
Right. Like, I'm playing tonight. I'll work through it, whatever it's going to be. If there's any chance that he could play, Trevor Lawrence is going to choose to play, right, on Sunday against Cleveland. So we'll see if he can get there. He'll be sharing himself what he thinks about it here in about 3.5 hours. He's scheduled to meet the media.
Which is a great sign, that in itself. And look, I hope he does play. I just, I'm trying to be the pessimist, and I'm not. Dempsey said that Trevor Lawrence is going to play. I don't know who's going to play.
The reality is he's dealing with a high ankle sprain. It's tough to imagine suffering that on Monday, that he'll be ready to go on Sunday. Yeah. But if he can go, your quarterback's going to go.
Right, especially when you saw that, the vision of him getting help down the tunnel. And many people have asked me, I don't know why there was no cart.
Yeah.
Do we know why there was no cart? Like, did Trevor just say, screw this, I'm walking off the field? Like,
he might have.
But at some point,
I don't know.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Sit your butt on the cart, and you're not walking off the field.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer to that is, but I think we can all have confidence that Trevor Lawrence is going to do everything within his power to play on Sunday.
Correct.
And if he can't play on Sunday, it's because he can't play on Sunday, and hopefully he'll be back the next week.
All right, let's go to the phones here. Wait no longer. We'll hear more from Doug Peterson coming up. Johnny O in the next hour. Jeff at Jacksonville Beach or in the Jacksonville Beach area is up first today on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Jeff.
How you doing?
Wonderful. What's up?
Well, I was going to say that with Trey out, when he went out, I think that's when the defense was out of place a lot. I think that he was pretty much like the quarterback on the defense, and then guys were not knowing their positions. Devin Lloyd, a lot of people looked lost, and all them gaps started happening after that.
Yeah.
And Little, I think Little, he hurt himself on the play before that. I think Parker shouldn't be taking the heat. He got bum rushed, and he shouldn't have been in on that play. And then Trevor, he wouldn't have stepped on Trevor. So I think that's been not talked about.
All right. We,
I think they both deserve
heat. The wide receivers, Parker Washington's teammates, are certainly believing he's the one that deserved the heat because they're the ones who are getting in his face on the sideline after the play, like you're getting our quarterback killed. Walker Little's trying to gut it out with an injured hamstring. Yeah, he stepped on it. Does he have eyes in the back of his head? I don't blame Walker Little at all for this. Sometimes you're going to get beat. You're going to get pushed back into the quarterback.
He deserves heat for getting beat.
Yeah, right.
He deserves
heat more than anybody else does for getting beat on any play.
Right, both he and Parker Washington deserve heat on that play. Both of their foul ups resulted in your quarterback suffering a high ankle sprain.
But you're going to get physically beat.
Yeah.
This is the NFL.
Parker Washington's a mental mistake.
That's a completely avoidable situation.
Know what you're supposed to do.
Now, Trey Herndon's not the quarterback of this defense. He's the nickel corner. He's not even on the field 100% of the time. I do believe that they were having
communication issues
making sure Greg Jr. knew where he was supposed to be, and there was a ripple effect because as you're paying attention, we saw it last year, Foye Oluokun is paying attention to what Devin Lloyd needs to be doing, then Foye's not as effective. He's not making as many big plays. They've been able to unleash him a little bit more in that department this year as a pass rusher, for instance, because he doesn't have to spend time thinking about. I do think Trey Herndon's absence had an impact on the game. There's no question about it. But I don't think of him as anything close to the quarterback of the defense.
No, but on a day where the communication issues were – it's there. It's right in front of you. They were having issues getting guys lined up and not having Trey Herndon, I can't imagine, didn't have any effect on what they were doing with those communication things and having a backup doing it that hadn't done it a whole lot this year. It has a domino effect on what they're doing on defense, but I don't think it's the reason they were having those issues.
It's that you don't have to worry Trey Herndon's going to be where he needs to be. It's not like Trey Herndon's out there making sure the other 10 guys are doing their thing. It's just that you don't have to think about it. Right? And now you're introducing this element of a young player in a big situation with a team that's got really good weapons, including their slot receiver, Tyler Boyd. And, the result was what the result was. Anyway, we got to move on off that one. Appreciate the call. Let's get Steven Nakati up next here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Steve.
Hey, good morning, guys. Couple things. I noticed, and tell me if you noticed the same thing. I feel like Tyson Campbell got burned several times. I feel like he's still injured. I feel like Devon Hamilton's still injured, nursing that back. I feel like we played better without Devon and injured Devon in there. And then what was up with the comment that Doug Peterson made that we're too loud on defense? Is that why we're not winning games at home? I'll pick it off here.
Yeah, I don't think
that's not what he said.
No, but
fans are hearing it that way. I think that's because of the way it's being reported on social media. That's not what he said. He said they were having communication issues on defense. The crowd was loud. The crowd was awesome while they were on the field.
Right.
They were having their issues on that side of the ball. He's not blaming the crowd. He's blaming the players and the team for not getting what they needed to get communicated. They have to be better at it.
Right. He's not saying be quiet.
No.
But the fact that you even bring up the crowd noise when you're at home, when on defense, that's what you strive for.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a bit of a faux pas by Doug Peterson to even mention the crowd noise.
Could have said what he needed to say without saying crowd noise.
We had to double check that we're getting the right plays in and communicating properly. And you're used to dealing with the crowd noise at home, so that should not have been an issue. What was the first part of that? Was
I forget.
Dang it. So do I. Darn it. Steve, what was the the first point you made, Steve, before you mentioned the crowd
Yeah,
noise.
so I thought that Campbell and Devon were both playing injured. Campbell got lit up. I mean, he got
yes.
For someone who's supposed to be so elite, he's playing injured, and then Devon's playing injured. You know he is with his lower back. So I'll take it off here.
Thanks. From what I understand about Devon Hamilton, he is fine physically. So take that for like in terms of like
he's got to play better,
like his strength and things like that. Like you run him through a physical. Whatever. There's no impediment.
Whatever the reasons are for his performance being what it is right now, it's not because of the injury.
It's not that his strength hasn't returned.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not like
he's just not playing well.
He's not playing well,
yeah.
Right? And I know what you're saying. How can that be? But that's what we're hearing from multiple. I mean, people in position to know. Devon Hamilton physically, it's been told to me for weeks is fine.
Yeah, they wouldn't put him on the field if he wasn't ready physically. Yeah.
It's a little bit hard to explain.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a confidence issue. I don't know what it is, because he didn't play a lot in the beginning of the season, but he certainly was not helping.
No.
The other night. I don't know what you do with Tyson Campbell. Like, you go out there, is Tyson Campbell, now he strained a quad, I think, in overtime, right?
Yep.
So we got to keep an eye on him this week. But you go in there, if you're healthy, you're healthy. He's been out for a while. I don't know that it was health that caused him to get beat by Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase beats a lot of people.
A great player.
Right? I just don't – I can't tell you that. And I understand it's not illogical to wonder, is Tyson Campbell 100%? Probably not. We just got done saying nobody's 100%, right? So you're coming off a hamstring injury, but it's also guarding a guy in overtime coming off a hamstring injury who missed 3 games. And, is it bad footing, bad cleats? Lack of reps, injury that caused him to slip. I don't know what caused him to slip. Or just an inopportune slip that left T. Higgins wide open to convert 3rd and 10 on the game-winning drive. I don't know what the answer to that is. But I don't know what the answer is beyond that. Monteric Brown, right now a better option than Tyson Campbell? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm presuming that the hamstring – they felt confident enough in it going in because you'd been winning games. You'd won 7 out of 8, right? And you'd missed Tyson Campbell for a portion of that time anyway. And I get it. This is a different matchup, and he wants to be out there, and it's Monday Night Football. And maybe he pushed it to be out there. I don't know. I think the more concerning thing is that he picked up the new injury. It may not come into play that much this week.
Yeah, different kind of test this week. Amari Cooper, the concussion, we'll see if he's able to get back on the field. Elijah Moore would be the other guy for them.
He'd be their number 1.
Yeah. Marquise Goodwin, we'll see if he's able to play this week. Prochet, Cedric Tillman, David Bell. That's the depth chart there for the Cleveland Browns.
David Njoku will get a lot of targets.
You would think.
This weekend.
Yeah.
You better plan on covering the tight end this weekend. All right, we got to take a timeout. Phone lines are jammed up. People want to react, man. I get it. You're not happy right now, and we're not either, right?
No.
We much rather it had gone completely differently on Monday night. Just injuries alone, but we are where we're at, and we're at where we're at, and we'll take more of your calls coming up at 641-1010. John Ogier on the other side of the top of the hour. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark here with you. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss. It's the moment when they were rolling.
Let's keep it rolling.
Tire Outlet brings you the drive of the game.
And this place is rocking right now.
Tire Outlet, wholesale prices, premium service.
Finish what we started.
On 1010XL.
The year is almost over. Do you need cash for the holidays or want to be credit card debt-free for the new year? Call Loan Pronto today. Their Express Equity line of credit can get you $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 in as little as 5 days. Listen, if you have a ton of equity in your house, and Loan Pronto can help you turn that equity into cash. You can access up to 95% of your home's value. Use the money to pay off all your credit cards, pay off personal loans, or start that home improvement project. You can get the money you need now and still keep your primary mortgage intact, so your 3% rate
it's protected. And with Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line program, 90% of the time, there's no need for an appraisal. So you can get your money super fast. Get the holiday cash you need or pay off all those credit cards before the new year. Get yourself on solid financial footing before the year ends and call Loan Pronto now. 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
The Jaguars are in the home stretch of the regular season as they go head-to-head with the Baltimore Ravens December 17th. This Sunday night football matchup is sure to excite as you help us teal out the stands. It's also our Inspire Change game, where fans can learn about our involvement in police community relations, criminal justice reform, and more. Go to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you for Sunday night football, Jaguars fans.
Looking for quality equipment and a name you can trust? Lepo Rents, Bobcat of Jacksonville, is your premier construction equipment dealer and rental house. We have the right equipment for the job, offering the big and small tools needed for your next project. Lepo sells and rents track loaders, excavators, boom lifts, and much more. For your next project, remember Lepo Rents, your authorized Bobcat dealer in Jacksonville. Visit them online at leporents.com.
If you're looking for exterior solutions that provide you reliability and durability, it's time to call Armor Guard Exteriors. Whether you need seamless gutters or gutter protection, hurricane products, impact windows, glass lanais, or retractable awnings and screens, we've got you covered. Call My Home Team today for your 5-star experience at 904-906-8669.
Armor Guard Exteriors, committed to quality, and that's a promise.
You're busy, so 1010XL makes holiday gift giving easy. Find great gift ideas from Bellwether Restaurant, Beard's Diamonds, and Brackish Vodka. Get lots of great gift ideas at 1010XL.com.
Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and thank you to all the members and contractors for their continued support and partnership. Together, they've helped build a stronger foundation for Jacksonville since 1901. Enjoy spending time with your friends and families this holiday season. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Turnpike Troubadours are coming to Jacksonville. Saturday, April 6th at Daly's Place.
I always kept the best for you.
Turnpike Troubadours with Elle King and Colby Acuff.
That mean old sun better rise up soon if it's ever gonna set on me.
Tickets are on sale Friday at 10 through Ticketmaster.com.
Mama warned you about
Turnpike Troubadours with Elle King and Colby Acuff. Saturday, April 6th at Daly's Place. Produced by Mammoth.
Really want to light up the night this New Year's Eve? Superior Fireworks on Blanding Boulevard has something for everyone on any budget. Their holiday sale is happening right now. Shop early and save big on their massive selection of quality fireworks. Don't get stuck with the same old this year. Let Superior Fireworks help you customize an amazing celebration with fountains, shells, repeaters, and grand finale racks. Visit the store in Orange Park or online at superiorfireworks.com.
The best golfing weather of the year is upon us now, so be sure and book your tee time at one of the most unique and beautiful golf courses in North Florida. Visit hiddenhillsgc.com for the best rates.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Let's talk a little bit about guarantees and warranties and what they mean. I've heard you say that Underwoods guarantees the price paid on a diamond solitaire if you trade it in for a larger diamond later on, and that you give a 5-year warranty on a Rolex bought from Underwoods. Just how do you monitor all of that?
David, I think before you can talk about a guarantee or a warranty, you have to first look at a company's history of how they've treated customers in the past and how long they've been in business. Because a warranty or a guarantee is really nothing more than the word of a company. Their history and reputation will give you a good indication of how they stand behind their products. As far as how all this gets monitored, a lot of companies give you something in writing, and if you lose it, well, then you don't have a guarantee anymore. At Underwoods, we keep up with the price paid and the date of purchase, so if a customer loses their receipt, we've captured all the information and can retrieve it for them. I guess simply stated, at Underwoods, our guarantees and warranties are our word, and since 1928, that's been the most sacred thing we have to offer.
Underwood Jewelers.
At Fair & Farah,
We represent people from all walks of life in matters involving personal injury cases. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter which neighborhood you call home, because everyone deserves justice, dignity, and respect. And remember, when it comes to compensation, you only get one shot. Make it count. Call Farah and Farah at 800-500-5555. Jacksonville.
Did you know the new 2023 Honda Accord Hybrid has an onboard system that charges the battery so you never have to plug it in? When you think Honda, you think quality, value, safety. Now think hybrid. Visit your local Honda dealer and experience the car of tomorrow today.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
QB Trevor Lawrence walked away with a high ankle sprain from Monday night, and his timeline to return is unknown. Coach Peterson shared the miscommunication, which led to the injury.
Miscommunication with Parker and the decision he had with his route. You know, there was a defender outside of him, defender inside of him, and he was kind of caught in between. And you know, it's just a young player that hasn't had a lot of time yet, and a lot of reps out there, and just an indecisive decision on Parker's part in that particular case. Something that he'll learn from and, you know, get better. And unfortunately, it ended up with Trevor being injured.
Doug Peterson, visit Jaguars.com for more. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Oh, noes.
With Jaguars.com's John Osher.
Brought to you by
Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. On 1010XL.
Yeah, Parker did a nice job, last night. Made some plays. Obviously, the touchdown was huge. But yes, he'd be the next guy up, and then he'd get a full week of work as well.
Parker Washington in for Christian Kirk, who I don't know what the timetable is going to be. A while.
Yeah.
It seems like.
They were
core
saying
muscle injury.
Yeah, I heard 8 weeks. So it was the talk was maybe the end of the playoffs if he could get back by that point in time. Was at least the initial, with those core injuries that would usually be 7 to 8 weeks. So you're talking AFC Championship game.
Brutal.
If they were to get that far, maybe the Super Bowl, if they were to get to that point, would be when you'd expect to see him back. But we'll see. He's working through it.
By the way, multiple people saying, Trevor waved off the cart. We were asking about the cart. The reason I say it, we're not watching the TV copy. We're watching something called the in-house feed, right? So we're watching that. We're listening to the broadcast, and we hear one of the guys. We hear what the booth is saying in Frank and Tony and Jeff's ear while it's going on as well. And as they were either going to break or coming out of break, we heard them saying, "Oh, they're bringing the card out." And we're like, so it's
they
no
definitely
good.
Said it.
They
yeah.
said right, and so it did come out, I guess, behind the bench, and Trevor just waved it off or whatever. At which point, I'm sorry, I'm overruling my quarterback. If you need two people to help you gimp down the hallway, I'm going to make you take the cart in. Just damn, that's me, and whatever.
Yeah.
But apparently, he and Kirk both waved it off, and
tough guys, yeah.
Fine, whatever. Yeah. I just thought it was interesting. I had a lot of people ask me about that, and we don't get to choose the angles. We didn't see him wave it off, and then next thing you know, we're seeing him walk into the locker room, and it never really got addressed. On at least from what we could tell.
Well, if the fool Colin Cowherd wants to make it a national story that Jacksonville didn't have Trevor Lawrence on a cart, which he did.
Oh, did he?
Yesterday.
I have no idea what
Right,
Colin
yeah.
Cowherd
I was
says.
watching everyone reacting to that yesterday on Twitter, and
Colin
I'm just
Cowherd's
like,
just
are you serious,
push
dude?
buttons.
You think an NFL team doesn't have a cart?
Right, I was because people were asking me, why is? Of course they have a cart.
It's
and
madness.
of course they are going to do everything they can for Trevor Lawrence. That's why I just thought it was interesting to see how hobbled he was.
Yeah.
And the pain
that
he
they
was
would allow
obviously
him
in.
to refuse
Like
it.
he got up, took one step, and fell right to the ground. Right, like you got to take the decision out of his hands. For
would
me,
think,
it's not the end of the world. It's not a big deal. It was more of a passing thing. So let's move on. 641-1010. Let's get to your calls here. Tony in Gainesville up next on Jaguars Today. Hello, Tony.
How y'all doing today, man?
Good. What's up?
I just have just a quick thought on the offensive defense. On the defensive side, it pretty much answered it. But my thing is, I was saying a couple of weeks ago that I felt like that Ledbetter, Angelo Blackson in that interior was giving us more push up there because we're depending on Josh Allen and Trayvon to save the day too much on the outside. And on the offensive side of the ball, I'm sorry to say it, man, and I'm going to leave it at this, but I do not see Fortner progressing. He doesn't play to the whistle. He misses blocks. And Sheriff, it's like, I don't blame Walker Little and all of them, bro, but Sheriff and Fortner in the middle is not getting it done, and we're overlooking and making it. Not y'all, but I feel like a lot of people are overlooking and making excuses. Sheriff is playing poorly, and we're in year 2 of Luke Fortner, and I don't see him getting better. It's like he's the same player he was when we drafted him in year 2, and I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.
All right, Tony. First, your point about the defensive tackles. We see guys flash in limited roles and what have you. I got to believe. I mean, you watch these guys every day. They know who their frontline players are.
Mm-hmm.
And they, if they thought that it's not like Devon Hamilton, right? He was back. He was cleared. They didn't think he was ready to contribute the last couple of weeks. They had no problem holding him out. It's not like, we got to get him on the field because we're paying him X amount of money. They brought him back this week. Didn't work. We'll see what happens going forward. But I think if they thought, Ledbetter and Angelo Blackson were the best options they had, they wouldn't hesitate to play him. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Fortner and Sheriff, I agree. Look, Sheriff, I think his impact, his efficiency has gone way down from last year, it seems. Fortner is not a physical guy in terms of being able to just move people and impose his will. But Doug Peterson raves about Luke Fortner every time he's asked about him. So he must be they, again, must feel he's the best option that they have. They're committed to it. I agree with you that clearly the interior of the offensive line has been lacking in push. We haven't been able to run the ball, haven't been able to impose our will in the run game at all, almost any point this season, with a handful of exceptional games.
Yeah, with that being said, there's been no indication that they have any interest in going anywhere but Fortner at center.
No.
It's not that you and I may not be saying, you know what, maybe it's time for Shatley
needs to play more.
To play center, but the team doesn't seem to be seriously considering that, at least at the moment. And going back to the Blackson deal, I think when the inactives came out, usually the inactives come out for a game and you're like, okay, those are the guys who aren't playing tonight. Blackson was a little bit interesting that he wouldn't be active tonight. It means Hamilton's going to be active. Let's see what we get. That obviously didn't turn out so well. Nobody on the interior of the defensive line played well on Monday. They all, I'm sure, had negative grades coming out of that game. But the decisions to make Blackson and Monteric Brown, I think, inactive this week hurt them. Right?
Well, Monteric Brown really
like you don't know it going into the game that Trey Hernan's going to get hurt on the first series of the game. You can't predict those kind of things, but guys that are inactive, and they can't help you that day.
Right, because if you got him up, then somebody else is down, and what if the injury happens at that spot?
Right.
You
don't
know.
You can't.
But
but they got burnt on both of
Absolutely.
them. Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, and you go in, like you said, the plan is what we've seen from Hamilton this week in practice. We think it's going to be better.
Yeah.
Good enough to put him out there, and it clearly wasn't good enough. But like you said, I don't know if it was good enough from anybody.
No.
On that defensive front. All right, Tony, appreciate the call. Let's go to Travis in Palm Beach next up. What's up, Travis?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
How you doing, man?
Appreciate you taking my call. Love the show. Hey, I just wanted to see if you guys noticed the same thing. About the second quarter, Trevor called a timeout in frustration because the receiver's not lined up, not in motion, what they have to do. Do you guys notice a little bit more fire from our star quarterback, and do you think that's just him holding his guys to a higher level, more like a championship-level quarterback would do? Appreciate you. Love you guys.
All right, appreciate it. I think this Trevor is got a particular personality. He's a very laid-back guy, right? So I don't want him to be anybody but who he is. Like Joe Montana, known for being Joe Cool, unflappable, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you can argue, he had great teams, he didn't need to do it, and all those different things, and that's fine. I believe Trevor Lawrence holds his guys accountable. I believe that you can hold guys accountable in different ways. You don't have to be red-ass Tom Brady screaming in somebody's face on the sideline to show that you are exhibiting leadership or that you have the pulse of the team or any of these things. So I think Trevor Lawrence is the clear leader on this football team. And I think everybody in that locker room respects the hell out of him. And to a man, I don't think there's any questions about him in that regard from anybody in the organization.
I think how little we see that kind of thing from Trevor Lawrence, right? The frustration that he openly showed on the field in that moment, I think how little we see him do that speaks to how fed up he was with whatever caused him to have to take that timeout.
Sure.
Right? Like, you're lined up wrong again. Guys, right? Like, this is the play. We know what the play is. What are you doing? Like, that's what that moment felt like to me. And I'm okay with the quarterback occasionally showing that kind of frustration on field, especially from a guy who doesn't always do it. I think it speaks to how frustrated he felt he was deserved of being in that particular moment.
Well, it speaks to Doug Peterson's comments about communication being an issue.
Yeah.
That's part of it, being lined up properly. Like, at this stage of the season, that should not be an issue, especially on offense. I mean, you're the one that's supposed to be dictating what's happening on this play. And on defense, sometimes you're like, oh, wait a minute, they come out in the personnel package and they're giving us a look and all these different things. And I can understand how it's a little bit more ripe for confusion at times.
Yeah.
Right? But
they had to burn the timeout there. They probably wish that they had burned the timeout on the 3rd and 2 that Chase scored the touchdown with everyone running around.
Right.
Still at the snap. It felt like if that wasn't the first series of the second half, like if that was, middle of the second quarter, they might have just timeout, guys. Like, we got to get on the timeout. But they didn't wind up doing it that way. And then they had a timeout for a trainer running on the field. Like, what a weird game from that perspective for him. Like, just the actual management of the game perspective. The Jags, not a passing grade on Monday.
Which is why, I'm sure internally, we're all looking at, oh my gosh, look, what are the lingering effects? Because you got all these guys out. They wanted to win that football game, and they're like, man, we had every opportunity to win this football game. Got to stop here, got to stop here. Don't make this mental mistake. Don't make that mental mistake. And it's infuriating that you lost to that team in the state that they were in coming into your place with all the conditions you had going in your favor on Monday Night Football. Take a time out here. Welcome in Johnny O. And more of your calls on the other side at 641-1010. You're listening to Jaguars Today on a Coping Wednesday, maybe, on 1010XL, 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey. You know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Have them in my house and absolutely love them. Great design, strongest warranties in the business, the highest quality products. And again, the highest endorsement I can give you is I use a company's products, and I replaced all the windows in my home. Got one broken one. It was time to do it. Look, whether you're a homeowner replacing windows like I was, or building a new home, or maybe you're a trade professional working with clients, I just know that the design experts at Pella can help your project run smoothly and look great. Total professionalism. Visit PellaJacks.com or stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today from the JOI Studios. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss. Put some fun in your Monday.
Something big is going down.
Get entertaining insight on Sunday's games all day Monday.
Oh, this is huge!
Dandy Foods Post-Game Monday. Makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL.
You dream it, we build it. CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Turn your backyard into an outdoor living oasis with CSS. Your number one choice for custom outdoor kitchens, grills, fireplaces, pergolas, and outdoor living. Because
you dream it, we build it. CSS.
It's a fact. Cold weather kills car batteries. Make sure your battery is strong enough to withstand another winter. Have it tested for free at Batteries Plus. Need a replacement? We have plenty of options available from the industry's top brands. Plus free battery installation in most vehicle makes and models, or upgrade to Premier installation for added protection. You'll also find jump starters, windshield wiper blades, and other winter auto essentials at your nearest location or online at batteriesplus.com.
This is Hayes Carlion for Spicklemeyer Insurance Agency. I was paying too much for car insurance, paying for things I didn't need. My friend John Spicklemeyer fixed all that for me with impeccable customer service. For all your car insurance needs, call John at 471-7155.
Hacker here, and look, football season is in full swing, and no game day setup is complete without the Sausage Dude sausage. I'm a sausage guy, and the Sausage Dude sausage is the best sausage I've ever had. Try their 4 terrific flavors:
including Polish, Hungarian, beer bratwurst with jalapeno, and my personal favorite, the Italian Today, by picking them up at any Publix in the Jacksonville area. Football and sausage, it's a winning combination. Go get the Sausage Dude sausage at any Publix in the Jacksonville area right now.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I'm on the exact pace as Mike Dempsey. After 4 weeks, I've dropped 23 pounds with Awaken 180 weight loss. Faster results than weight loss meds and results that can last a lifetime. What's stopping you? Awaken180weightloss.com.
Now the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Jags are a team that understands the meaning of next man up. And when it was Parker Washington's opportunity to perform, he made sure to do so when the light shined brightest. In the third quarter, Trevor Lawrence would find Washington in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. That would tie the game at 21 with 5:26 left in the period. The Washington score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hey everyone, Jason Parker, CEO of Performance Painting here. 'Tis the season for giving gifts, and this year our gift to you is waiving the power washing fee when prepping to paint your commercial building or home exterior. That's a $500 to $3,000 savings back in your pocket depending on the square footage. And no matter who you hire, make sure they power wash using the proper methods, which includes being careful around your expensive windows. Learn more at performancepaintingjacks.com or call today at 849-2499.
Performance Painting.
This is Hayes Carline for Island Wing Company, located on Southside near Tinseltown, and our new location at Bartram Park in St. Johns County. Two great locations offering the ultimate sports bar experience where you can stick to healthy options. Island Wing Company has a wide selection of fryer-free food. The wings are baked, not fried, with so many awesome flavors to choose from. You can also get delicious salmon, tuna, flatbreads, and tacos. With tons of spectacular TVs, dog-friendly patios, and 2 daily happy hours, Island Wings can't be beat.
Folks, the First Coast has voted. Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is proud to be chosen as Bold City's best in 4 categories: Best Orthopedic Practice, Physical Therapy, Pain Management, and Foot Care Clinic. For the last 30 years, JOI has continually strived for the highest level of orthopedic surgery and rehab care. As the needs of the community evolve, so will they. That's why coaches, parents, and athletes choose JOI. Call them at JOI 2000 or visit JOI.net. JOI, where the pros go.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by General RV. The current 4-team college playoff system left out FSU. Noles head coach Mike Norvell is looking forward to it being expanded to 12 teams.
Next year with 12, it's going to open those doors for, the best team to really be able to prove itself, out there on the field.
Clemson will play Kentucky in the 79th Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. The teams have met previously with a Clemson victory. The 79th annual Tax Slayer Gator Bowl will be played on Friday, December 29th at noon at Everbank Stadium and will be nationally televised. In area collegiate sports, UNF Osprey men's basketball team defeated the Edward Waters University Tigers. JU Dolphins men's basketball team will tip off tonight against University of Central Florida. Game time is 7 p.m. You can listen live on 1010XL. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
At 11:05, it's 56 degrees. Time and brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hey, yeah, I wanna shoot, baby, shoot.
Nobody knows the Jags like Johnny O.
Oh No's. Brought to you by
Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
on 1010XL.
My request for John Ogier.
That promo was wrong, evidently, because it said nobody knows the Jag like Johnny O, and I didn't know Trevor was back up.
Well, now that's what you listen to Jaguars Today for.
What is that right?
Didn't say he was the backup. He played like the backup.
Gotcha. And it's yeah. So apparently promo is wrong.
Two quarterbacks can play well in the same game, I believe. One of them's going to win, one of them's going to lose.
Yes.
Sometimes they tie. Very rarely.
Sometimes,
very rarely.
Right.
We would have preferred it this week, actually.
A tie would have been
It
better.
would have still been frustrating as hell because a tie doesn't do much for you, honestly.
No, it's
right. I mean, because you already have the tie break. You know,
true.
Like over the Colts and the Texans for the moment.
It would have kept you one more ahead, I guess. But it was
whatever. I mean,
tough week.
Yeah, it is what it is. Let me ask you.
Yes.
I asked Tony this yesterday. Would you take it right now? Jags must go to Tennessee and win in Week 18 to secure the division title. Would you take that, or do you have higher expectations?
Well, I have to answer the question now. So I would say, I still have higher expectations only because so much depends on if Trevor's going to play.
And that's big. You don't know.
Right.
So that's the uncertainty.
Okay, so that not knowing, I guess I would take it.
I would take it.
Yeah.
I would.
I see what you're saying.
Trevor may miss the next 2 weeks and they lose them both, right? Let's just say, right? And
Which
in that time,
yeah.
if Houston wins their next 2 games, they're in first place.
Right.
And unless they lose and they have a really weak schedule, then you can't overtake them. There's nothing you can do to overtake them. They'd be in control at that point if it went that way.
Yeah.
They'd have 9 wins. Jags would have 8.
I got you. Yep.
Right? So, to me, like being tied with Houston going into Week 18 with knowing, because if you beat the Titans under that scenario,
then you have the division tiebreaker.
You'd be 5-1 in the
Correct,
division.
yeah.
Exactly. And you're going to have the tiebreaker.
And I think that's I don't necessarily think it's a given that that'll play out that way.
I don't either.
But it's a good thing to have in your back pocket that if you can get into those last 3 games tied with Houston, then those last 3 games look like you should be able to navigate them if Trevor's back, right?
Huge game this week. That's why the Cincinnati game is so disappointing, because you had that cushion.
There. Yeah,
and it was
even with the injury,
backup.
It was there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it was all there.
And you almost didn't. I mean, maybe I just saw it this way covering the game because I've got to write and I can't be that engaged at the final gun in terms of, oh my goodness. I kind of felt like once Trevor was out, I sort of started in my head writing a loss because it just felt like, boy, that's a blow that maybe they don't overcome. So I didn't realize until I went back how they probably still should have won the game, even with Trevor being out. And that was sort of what Doug was focused on at the end, is they had chances late, still should have won it. And I'm not sure it's been a long time since I've covered a game that weird in the last 5 minutes. That makes sense? I mean, just you go from having the chance of the number 1 seed to
all of a
the
sudden
quarterback
you're
being
like,
out.
Right. Like the whole
And
season's in jeopardy.
What a gut punch it is. Somebody compared it to New England emotionally, like New England in 17 emotionally. And it sort of did feel sort of that, where it's here and then
right, you're this close to where you want. Now this was just
different,
this close to positioning yourself in the lead spot.
But being at home with all this energy and then Trevor being the one who's hurt, it's one you won't forget.
Yeah. Look, I think for the number 1 seed, and I hear people say, "Oh, we should never talk about the number 1 seed." No, it's okay. You can talk about that. You're allowed to realize the implications.
Right, it's not a no-hitter.
And even if it is a no-hitter,
right,
that's dumb too, right? I mean, it is. It has no impact on any of this stuff, right? And I'm not saying as a broadcaster you should buck tradition and all that. It's kind of like what baseball people do, and that's fine. But if you really, really think that has any impact on anything, I can't help you.
Here's the thing. If we hadn't talked about the possibility of them rising to the number 1 seed on Monday, people would have said, "Why aren't you talking about the
Why are you talking about this? This is a huge story." But the point
you never say this.
Even if they were in the pole position, you would have felt like they probably need to win out to maintain it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because you're going to have to beat Baltimore head-to-head. You can't slip up. You got all the 3 teams nipping at your heels, and any one of them could overtake you. So, even if they had won that game against Cincinnati, the reason it would give me the sigh of relief is the division lead.
Correct.
Would be
no doubt
intact. And, now it's like forget the number 1 seed. And it's not forget the number 1 seed because you shouldn't talk about the number 1 seed. It's because it's not realistic now that you're going to get yourself back in that position, that these teams are going to come back to you, and you, with the injuries that you just sustained, are going to be able to then win the next 5.
Now you're trying to survive and advance.
Correct.
Which
just get in at this point, win the damn division,
they were
get a
really
home game.
good in that position last year.
Get Trevor healthy.
Yeah. And they kick ass on the road.
Yeah,
so
we'll see how they deal with it this year. It has felt like, John, the Kansas City game was circled, in ink. Going into the season, it was an opportunity. We're going to show you where we're at in the AFC. They choked that week, right? They had plenty of opportunities to win that game. They don't get it done. This week they're dealing with, we can be the number 1 seed. We have our control of being the number 1 seed. For whatever reason, in both of those games, they just haven't responded totally as a team. Against Kansas City, defensively, they did the job. Offensively, they didn't. Against Cincinnati, offensively, they did the job. Defensively, they didn't. Is there anything to that as far as is this a young team that's still trying to figure out those kind of pressure situations, or what does any of that mean?
Yeah, I thought about it a lot because I, like you, would like to sort of be able to, I guess, define it. To me, if it was youth, immaturity, not being able to handle stuff, my experience tells you that makes the road tough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I absolutely hear what you're saying, and maybe there's something to it. I just have always sort of believed that young teams, it seems really good on the road and really good against teams. They've been good at coming through in clutch situations. It's not like the Bills, the Colts, the Saints, all those games don't matter. Those teams were playing well at the time.
Sure, yeah.
But right now, they've put themselves in a situation where they have to prove that you're wrong. So I'll buy into it until I see them show that they can handle that situation because they haven't done it.
Yeah.
I like them more in that mode. Like, they do respond in that mode, in the we'll show you where you're wrong.
Yeah.
About, like, they have responded to that for
really
the last year and a
intriguing to me.
half.
I think this week is, maybe I say this before a lot of games, I think this week is, you mentioned it, so critical, and Doug has a job to do in terms of, hey, you may not have your quarterback. That was a big gut punch. I get that the fans left deflated, but you guys can't. It's a big lift going on the road to beat this team.
Right.
This is a good Browns team that
play
plays well in this
so
situation.
much better in Cleveland defensively.
Browns.
They're so much better.
Unbelievably
At
well.
home, they're the best defense in the league.
And they've lost one game there. They know how they want to play. They're not a quarterback-centric team.
They held San Fran to 17 there,
Right.
and they didn't have Debo, but they had a lot.
Yeah, this
going
is
into
strength
that game.
versus strength. A good road team. I think it's. I mean, if the Jaguars win this, color me impressed. I think it's tough. I think.
Look,
it's a tough game.
right, and just no more wave of injuries. This is not going to be a high-scoring game. At least you wouldn't think it would be, right? Although, the NFL.
You never know. Right.
The Colts beat the Browns this year 39-38.
Right.
I mean, what?
Right.
It's so.
If these teams played a lot, you wouldn't expect
You'd think
a close game.
I would expect a lot of
you wouldn't
13-10s is what I would expect.
That's what you'd expect. And to me, this defense thinks it's good. Jaguars defense. They think it's good against the run. Go prove it.
All right, let's get John on the west side in before we hit the break here at 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines. What's up, John?
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Just for John, and they're always preaching accountability. Okay, the Kansas City game was gettable. They weren't ready for that. Houston game, they didn't practice well. And on the biggest stage of football, Monday Night Football, they're not ready for that. Who's accountable for this lackluster performances? And I'll take your comments off the air.
Okay. I don't know that they weren't ready for the Kansas City game. I mean, I get that feeling about the Houston San Fran and Cincinnati games to some degree. Like the intensity, I think that's fair, but that's quibbling.
Yeah.
All right,
sure,
John. As he said, that's for you. Where does the accountability come into play here?
I never know how to answer questions about accountability because I don't know what they want. Do they want somebody fired over it? I mean,
no one's getting fired.
Yeah,
clearly.
so
I mean, Doug Peterson, the buck stops with him.
Yeah, I mean, Doug would be the first to say it's always on the head coach.
But you're not going to fire him.
Nor would you want to.
No, I'm saying right. I mean,
so,
exactly. But I think it's somewhat on the players to be, accountable with each other as well. But when the whole team is
the
seemingly
offense
not
didn't
giving
feel
you that.
unready to me. I mean, the offense scored 31 points. Somebody told me once a long time ago, when you don't stop the run, you always feel like you're not giving effort. And sometimes you're just not stopping the run. So bad run fits, getting blocked off the ball, is that not being ready? Maybe.
But I
never know how to judge that.
There's something with the intensity that Doug Peterson himself has remarked on after some of these games, particularly the Houston and San Fran games. These were great opportunity games to show up.
Yeah.
And they didn't, So, and this was clearly an opportunity, whether it was weren't ready to play, whatever.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
You got to win that game with all the things you had in the plus column heading into Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess I have to plead ignorance. I don't know how to answer the question. I don't know who's accountable for that, other than
public flogging.
Yeah, it's Doug's team, so the buck stops with Doug. But
you know how you hold them accountable? You call Jaguars Today.
Well,
let them have
yeah,
it.
and I guess that's where I always struggle with the question. I don't know how to hold them accountable.
Right.
We talk
And,
about
you can like if
we
it's
talk about it, we address it, we discuss it.
But if it's a player or two, I mean, ultimately, you're going to lose playing time. That's how you get held to accountability. But if the next guy up isn't as good as you, you're limited to there are only so many guys on the roster.
How many times have we gone around on that question?
Right?
On the show? Yeah.
Somebody called up earlier. Hey, I thought watching earlier this offseason or whatever, early in the year, that Ledbetter and Blackson give us more on the interior of the defensive line. I'm paraphrasing a little bit.
Sure.
And the defensive coaching staff want to be successful.
Right.
They watch them. They're with them every day in practice. I'm not saying coaches never make mistakes and bad evaluations and that there aren't sometimes other considerations in play. But, I don't think they're trying to hold back a budding superstar from helping this team.
I mean, on that the other night, they were bad against the run the other night. Should they have thought going into that game, hey, we're going to struggle against the run, let's figure out something. They've been good against the run all season.
Right.
So,
and you're getting Hamilton added back into that, and he just got worked.
It was one of my most surprising moments was when that team didn't stop the run.
Have not been able and against a team that hasn't been able to run, against a team that was so inept offensively the week before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many things, and that's we always hear week to week league, and you see it happen. You're like, damn it! How can this be a week to week league?
Damn it! It's a week to week league.
Why
again.
is this a week to week league? All right, we got to take a timeout. We'll come back more with John Ozier and your calls as well as we try to figure out a good path for the Jags to navigate to get that W against the Cleveland Browns this week. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Certainly awakened me to the possibility of not only losing weight, but keeping that weight off. I've had a lot of friends recently join the Awaken 180 program, and I don't know a single one of them that hasn't had immediate success, dropping pounds like crazy. It happened for me, over 25 pounds in 5 weeks, and I was down to the end where I just needed that final push across the finish line. But for me, the big thing with Awaken 180 is the constant support and the game plan to maintain that weight loss. Haven't put it back on, and it's been a couple of months, over 2 months now, since I dropped those pounds. Look, if you've got that nagging 10, 20, maybe it's 50, maybe it's 100 pounds or more that you've been trying to lose, and you just don't know where to begin, well, you begin by picking up the phone and calling 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180 weight loss. Free support for life once you hit your goal weight as well. 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
They say the tape doesn't lie, and Jeff Lageman translates the truth.
I'm your tape translator, Jeff Lageman, on Check the Tape Tuesday on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Mr. Sparky of the First Coast, your on-time electrician on 1010XL.
Come to Monahan Jewelers' 46th annual holiday sale now with up to 30% off on GIA certified diamonds and up to 40% off our entire store. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. We're not a big box store. We're your local family jeweler with an amazing hand-picked inventory for every budget. And with interest-free financing, enjoy beautiful jewelry with a low monthly payment. Support your local family jeweler this Christmas with up to 40% off our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Open 7 days a week in December.
We're in Florida and pest problems are persistent. Want them gone? Mission accomplished with Mission Pest Solutions. Veteran and locally owned and operated, Mission Pest will blow your mind with their communication and response time for all your pest, termite, and mosquito needs. Text or call 904-944-PEST. You'll speak directly with the owners. Mention 1010XL when you call 944-PEST. You'll get 25% off your initial pest or termite protection service. Mission accomplished with Mission Pest Solutions.
New Year's Eve sale prices are happening now at Superior Fireworks in Orange Park. Locally owned superstore with something for everyone at any budget. Stop in today for early savings or online at SuperiorFireworks.com.
She's very comfortable talking sports and hanging out with the boys.
Mia O'Brien here, still providing the best multimedia sports coverage in Northeast Florida on 1010XL radio, video, and social channels.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Are you trying to sell your home here around the holidays and you think you may have problems? Can I just send you forward, spoiler alert? Call Chad and Sandy today or go to chadandsandy.com, 904-414-6200. Why do I skip ahead? Because any problem you think you have, they have the promise and a solution. It's pretty simple. Doesn't this about cover it for you? They will sell your home, Chad and Sandy, at a price that you agree upon, or they will buy it. That's right. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Perhaps you're worried about settling for less money with a lowball instant offer. Well, that promise takes care of that, doesn't it? Just listen to Tanya from Magnolia Glen. I had moved out of state to South Carolina. I was desperate. Not one, but two realtors failed to sell my home in 160 days. Chad and Sandy sold it in 5 days. Go to chadandsandy.com or call 904-414-6200. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
You know that leaky faucet you've put a pail or towel down to catch the drips? Well, imagine that leak when your family comes over for the holidays, using the faucet over and over and over. Avoid holiday floods with a call to Duck Duck Rooter today. Duck Duck Rooter will come and resolve those dripping faucets and leaky pipes so you can enjoy a hassle-free holiday season. Call 904-862-6769. Visit duckduckrooter.com.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, ensuring those who serve.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Josh Allen was a force against the Bengals. The 26-year-old linebacker recorded 7 tackles on Monday night, as well as 1.5 sacks, and also had an interception for Jacksonville. With the way he's played this year, he should be known as the BMID, Big Man in Duval. Josh Allen is your Superior Fence and Rail defensive Player of the game.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about exceptional customer service. From the first call to the final inspection, Superior's team provides first-class care with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com. And let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Did you know the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid never needs to be plugged in? The onboard system charges the batteries for you. When you think Honda, think hybrid. Good for the environment, great for your budget. Visit your local Honda dealer to experience the CR-V of the future today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. His name is John Osher.
Oh, knows.
Brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL.
All right, Johnny O is here. It is a Weight Loss Wednesday. Glad you're along on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, as the Jags taking on the Cleveland Browns. We'll go around the league here coming up in just a moment. Get back to the phone calls as well. Man, they're just pouring in on all different forms with your feedback. We appreciate that on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. If the Jags lose, how likely is it we lose first place to Houston? Well, this week, you won't. You'll be in first place regardless. But overall, I mean, Houston's, if I'm handicapping it, is favored in every game the rest of the way, right? They play on the road the next 2 weeks, but they're playing the Jets. All right. You think Texans are beating the Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. All right, then they play at Tennessee. You think they're beating the Titans?
Mm-hmm.
I do too. Then they get Cleveland at home.
Mm-hmm.
I pick them to beat Cleveland,
Mm-hmm.
right? They get Tennessee at home. Now, if the Titans can rise up and get a split, that would be extremely helpful.
Yep.
Right? And then they get Indy to end the season, and they did lose to Indy, and Indy could be fighting for a playoff spot, and that could be a critical game for them, no doubt.
I mean, it stands to reason that they would lose one of those, but it's hard to pick which one.
Right.
It's one of those, right?
It was kind of like with the Jags. You're like, all right, putting the Ravens game aside, tell me which of those final 5 games are likely to lose. None of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they did.
Yeah.
So it can happen.
Houston could have lost to Denver on Sunday pretty easily.
Yeah.
Right? Like either team could have won that game this week. Houston won the game. That's what they found a way to do for the last month is find a way to win outside of the Jaguars game.
By the way, nobody gives the Colts any credit for anything, right? Because the Jags swept them. We're like, they're not that good, right? They're ahead of Houston.
Yeah.
Right? And they're in the playoffs.
And they're 9-3 without that sweep, by the way.
7-3.
7-3. Yeah.
What are they?
9-3 without that sweep. If they had
if they had won
the Jaguars
those games.
hadn't swept them,
right.
The Colts are the talk of the league.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right. If you took those games out, they're 7-3 in the other games. But if you're saying if they had won the games against the Jags, yes.
Right.
Or even split.
Right. Everybody discounts, from the Jaguars' perspective, all fans sort of discount those wins. Well, you should beat that team. They're not any good.
But they're a playoff team.
Right.
So is Pittsburgh, by the way.
Right.
Right now. So are the Browns, by the way.
Right. And the Bills feel like they could still get back in. So, yeah.
So are one of those teams in the NFC South. Which one? I think it's Atlanta right now, right?
I think it is Atlanta, yeah.
It's like,
rise up.
So there's another
rise up.
playoff win. Or win against the playoff team that we have. Here's what the Colts have down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what you think. They play at Cincinnati this week.
Okay.
I mean,
tough.
I think it's a coin flip.
Yep.
Right? Then they host Pittsburgh. Again, kind of a coin flip.
Yep.
Right? They're at Atlanta. I'd expect them to win.
I would too,
but I do feel like
the way the Colts play, it feels like they're going to be in 5 close games.
Yes, because that's the thing. C.J. Stroud's better than Gardner Minshew, and I think that's what when you look at it, you're like, oh damn, that team. Now they also lost Tank Dell though. Yeah. The Colts have been doing it without Jonathan Taylor most of the damn year.
What they have is their defensive line is a monster in Indianapolis, and they take advantage of it. Yeah, that's what they got over the other teams, even in the division. They don't have the quarterback necessarily, but they can stop the run, it feels like, and the interior of their line can affect the pass.
Last 2 weeks of the season, they host Las Vegas, then host the Texans. So,
okay,
I hope that the Colts are like fighting for a wild card spot in Week 18.
Mm-hmm.
And that game means a ton to them. I think Minshew's the kind of guy, he doesn't care. He wants to win, at any point in time. But got to be something, too. Like if you're eliminated and you're like, that you're not on the razor's edge necessarily. But, Tennessee, if Tennessee goes 5-0 to finish the season, or I'm sorry, Houston goes 5-0 to finish the season, I'm not going to be shocked. I probably wouldn't expect it, but like you said, which one are you going to pick them to lose?
Right, that's always. But without Tank, that
hurts.
Put them in a different dynamic.
You're right.
Because I'm sure they're sitting over there now wondering where we're going to get big plays like that.
Then again, they went up and down the field this week again, and he got hurt extremely early in that football game. So somebody guard Nico Collins, please, now that I've used him in the Breakfast Bowl. All right, let's go around the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The Detroit Lions have placed defensive lineman Aleem McNeil on injured reserve due to a knee sprain that he suffered on Sunday. The Lions have signed former Jaguars first-round pick Tyson Alualu to their practice squad. Green Bay has signed running back Kenyon Drake to their practice squad. They cut running back James Robinson. Robinson played for the Packers in their Sunday night win over Kansas City, getting 1 carry and 1 catch in that game. Miami linebacker Jerome Baker is considered week to week with a knee injury, but won't be going on injured reserve, according to head coach Mike McDaniel. New York Giants tight end Darren Waller is making progress as he works back from a hamstring injury, but may not play this week, according to head coach Brian Daboll, who also named Tommy DeVito as their starter for Monday Night Football and said that Tyrod Taylor will be the backup for the Giants this week. The San Francisco 49ers are signing defensive back Logan Ryan, and the New York Jets have released quarterback Tim Boyle, who has started their last 2 games. They signed Brett Rippon off of Seattle's practice squad. The Jets have still not announced a starter against the Houston Texans this week.
All right, by the way, James Robinson turned into which Jaguar player?
Snoop Connor?
Stumper. Stumpa! I got a Stumpa. No, not Snoop Connor.
That's my guess.
Antonio Johnson?
No, Parker Washington.
Oh.
Okay.
That's who they got for the pick that they received for
I wasn't far
James
off.
James Robinson.
But I was wrong nonetheless.
One spot off is off enough.
Off
but
enough.
poor James Robinson, man. He apparently shows these teams enough to make them think he can help them, and he just has had no luck sticking anywhere. Where's he been now? He's been in New England with the Jets. Was he in Detroit? I know Green Bay. No, Giants, right? Wasn't he with the Giants?
He was with the
at one
Giants,
point as
yeah.
well? Like on the practice squad for like a week kind of thing. Just oh my gosh. And to see the way he opened last season up too, right?
Yeah.
You're like coming off the Achilles. Here's a guy who wasn't explosive to begin with. Bam, 50-yard run. What the? And then just nothing, man. Life comes at you fast in the National Football League.
It really does. Especially at that position.
Really does, right? Let's get Darren here on the west side. We'll break. We'll come back with some final thoughts. Got a poll out there for you. We'll see over 500 have weighed in so far this morning on which potential backup player will have the biggest impact or you have the most confidence in going forward, at least for this week. Darren on the west side, go ahead.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I just want to say that, Tony, you were right about before the game. The comments that you made were very insightful about it being a week-to-week league and don't overlook anybody. And, Mike, you said, I'll take a 1-point victory, and which leads me to my point that, gosh, how I'd take McManus's 48-yard kick right now, because I believe how the attitude of the city, where we'd be feeling the positivity. And, yes, we would be down Trevor right now. And for those that want to say crap about Trevor, just shut up and get off the bandwagon, because the dude is for real. He's going to be here a long time. And so I'm going to keep the glass half full today, and let's go get a W in Cleveland, guys. Thanks, Pat.
All right, thank you. You were talking, mentioned some of the social media feedback I got where, the guy called Trevor the backup, looked like the backup, whatever. And Jeff Prosser made the comment, it was off the air, we were just talking, he goes, why don't you ask him, all right, would you trade him straight up for Jake Browning? Like, honestly, there are probably people that go, well, yeah, if we could get Cincy's play caller to come, look, there are plenty of things you can critique Trevor Lawrence for. That game he was not the problem at all, and played very well.
Yeah, I thought it was another, last two games played well. I guess I can only go based on sort of the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I had a feeling when they got the ball back 28-28, I had complete faith that he was going to make plays and go down and win the game.
Yeah.
There have been games where I wasn't sure on that, where I didn't have that feeling. But the other night, I thought it was going to be one where he was standing there talking to the Monday Night Football person after the game as the star of the game.
The other thing is here, too, once you make that 48-yard field goal, at that point, you're up 31-28 is what you would be. And Cincinnati's playing it different.
Right.
They realize now. Now, maybe.
That's why it's always tough to play that. Well, they would have done this.
Now, granted, it was a tie game. A field goal still would have benefited them to get it to overtime potentially. So maybe it does play out the same way, but you just don't know how it's going to go. I mean, the sack cost them 7 yards. Mm-hmm. Does that ball sneak in from 41 before it curls up? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
Right? I mean, if you just pick up 3 on that play,
and it's about as close as Doug Peterson is willing to be critical of a player as it should have been a game-winning kick, right? Like, that's about as close to just being directly critical of a player as Coach Peterson will get. And he said that multiple times coming out of the game. Should have been a game-winning kick. Like, basically saying he has to make that first one.
Right.
Like, that guy, we expect way more than that.
You know what would have been better than that? If they just don't call the hold on Harrison, and then we're like, well, hell, maybe Beathard would be pretty damn good, right? Like, he hit Ridley with that big play, and Ridley responded. And
big-time catch by Calvin, I thought.
Big-time catch,
adjusted, made an above the X's and O's play.
Game-changing play.
Then but make the one where it falls out of the sky and hits you in the stomach as you're laying there at the end of the first half. And maybe you get 3 there, and then
who knows?
I thought that sequence was a huge part of the game. The way the game is played now, when they were tied 14-14, I think it was around the half, and got nothing out of either drive.
Yeah,
boy, 20 years ago that didn't feel as deflating. Now, when that happens to a team, you feel like.
Now
they're behind.
Everyone's calling timeout with 17 seconds left. We're going to get the ball back with 17 seconds. Yeah. We may be able to get 2 big chunk plays and get a 59-yard field goal attempt.
They got nothing out of a couple of drives where you felt like they had a chance to be up 28-14.
Coaches didn't even let you try the long field goals back in the day.
The middle eight's almost a fifth quarter in a football game now.
Right.
Like, that's how important those minutes are, and when you get nothing out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, when they didn't get points there, that was my first uh-oh of the night.
Yeah.
All right. Final segment coming up, 641-1010 if you want to be a part of it. We'll run the options for today's Chad and Sandy Real Estate Question of the Day by Johnny O, like we've done by you, and we'll wrap things up very tidily on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Helping you over the hump. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weight Loss Wednesday continues from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios on 1010XL. Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
Okay, excellent show, everyone.
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
The Jaguars are in the home stretch of the regular season as they go head-to-head with the Baltimore Ravens December 17th. This Sunday night football matchup is sure to excite as you help us teal out the stands. It's also our Inspire Change game, where fans can learn about our involvement in police community relations, criminal justice reform, and more. Go to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you for Sunday Night Football, Jaguars fans.
Now, the Hurricane Report. Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Hurricanes signed a big-time recruit in Justin Scott. Scott is 6'4" and 310 pounds. He's a defensive lineman from Chicago, and he's the number 7 overall pick in the 247 rankings. With the pickup, the Hurricanes go to number 5 in the rankings, one spot ahead of the Florida Gators. Miami's playing in the Pinstripe Bowl against Rutgers. Kickoff is set for Thursday, December 28th at 2:15.
Are you fed up with your old, unreliable AC system? How much do you think it's worth now? How about this? Old City Heating and Air will pay you up to $1,200 for your old AC system when you purchase a new AC system this month. Talk about happy holidays. And if cash for your old AC isn't enough, Bold City offers 12 months with no payments and no interest financing. That's a whole year of no payments on your new AC system. Schedule a free estimate today at boldcityac.com.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trust a company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
Salvatore's Pizza coming to Jacksonville. Salvatores.com.
Get your news and notes from the swamp.
Alligators ornery cause they got all them teeth.
I'm Taylor Dahl, and I'll bring you the Gator Report to keep you connected to Gainesville.
Wow! Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts on 1010XL.
Look, Christmas is almost here. It's time to get that home repair project you've been putting off done before the family comes over. Let First Coast Home Pros Handyman Services tackle the honey-do list for you. FirstCoastHomePros.com.
This is Walker Little of your Jacksonville Jaguars for Kingfish Pest Control. I've been a Kingfish customer for a while now and can confirm that their service is incredible. Not only do they protect my family from pests, Kingfish's office staff is the friendliest around. They even email me a photo of the tech before arriving at my home. Kingfish Pest Control is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Be sure to enter their Swat That Kick sweepstakes for free pest control for 3 years. Go to kingfishpest.com and tell them Walker Little sent you.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, Armada, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including Active Armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go, and so should you.
How large are the Rocky Mountains? The answer coming up.
How long has it been since you compared homeowners' insurance rates? Log on to southernoak.com to find an agent or get an instant quote online. Find us at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The Rocky Mountains stretch for over 3,000 miles from British Columbia in Canada all the way south to New Mexico.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time home buyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time home buyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time home buyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time homebuyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. Yes, 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
This is Dr. James Perry, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jags' offensive line allowed 4 sacks in the Monday night loss to the Bengals. With the ever-changing offensive line, Coach Peterson knows where they can improve.
There's always room for improvement, right? I mean, you know, I thought there were some good things in the run game early, and then we got sort of stymied as the game went on. You know, we got to continue to try to push the line of scrimmage, right? Play on their side of the ball. We got stalemated a couple times, and so, you know, those are all things that we got to continue to work on. But, you know, the sacks came when we were kind of in those 2-minute modes and trying to push the ball down the field, and it's going to happen. But I thought overall decent, but can definitely improve.
Doug Peterson, visit Jaguars.com for more. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. His name is John Osher.
Oh, knows.
Brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL.
All right, time's a waste, and we got to get out to XL Primetime soon. So let's hit them up with today's 10-10 take.
10-10.
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take. Brought to you by J&M Roofing Jacksonville, your storm restoration specialists.
All right, today's question of the day, presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate, we ask, assuming they all had to start, which of these Jags do you have the most faith in to get the job done versus the Browns this week? Is it C.J. Beathard for Trevor Lawrence? Is it Parker Washington for Christian Kirk? Is it Blake Hance for Walker Little? Is it Greg Jr. for Trey Herndon, if it comes out? And yes, we're counting nickel corner as a starting position. Mm-hmm. Okay? I'm going to cheat a little bit. It's not really cheating. I mean, I'm answering the question. I'm going to say it's Greg Jr., but it's not because I have this incredibly high evaluation of his talents. It's that I look at the matchup, and I wonder who's there to challenge Greg Jr. very much. And I know Elijah Moore runs out of the slot a lot. A lot of times your nickel covers him. I got to believe the Browns are going to run, especially if Amari Cooper doesn't play, they're going to run a lot of multiple tight end sets where your main outside guys are going to be covering Elijah Moore and whomever they run out there. We don't even know if Marquise Goodwin is going to play in this game. I mean, I just think based on what Cleveland wants to do and the personnel that they're likely to have on hand, I just think Greg Jr.'s task is the one that's the easiest this week. Tony, how would you answer it?
I would go C.J. Beathard. Every time that he's been on the field in a Jaguars uniform, I've been impressed, right, with whatever they've asked him to do since he's been here. I'm not saying that I want him to ever have to play, right, for this team, but I think as far as backup quarterbacks go, they're going to be okay with C.J. Beathard having to be the quarterback for a week or two, depending on what's going on with Trevor Lawrence. So I would vote C.J. Beathard.
Who would you vote for, John?
I'm going to go Junior for the same reasons that you said. To make it more interesting, I'll talk about Parker Washington.
Yeah, sure.
You know, he was really impressive the other night, and I I thought it was really significant because you've sort of been waiting for a receiver other than the main three to sort of show you something. And he made a big-time catch in the end zone, had a nice third down conversion, looked like it's repeatable. The thing you worry about is second time in, once teams sort of see him, how you sort of adapt to defenses knowing what you are. He's a big player to watch for me down the stretch because if he looks really good and is productive, then all of a sudden you wonder what they do with the receiving core going forward.
Well, do you assume that they'll take kickoff returns away from him this week because he's going to be playing so much more on offense? I think they anticipated Dearness Johnson having a bigger role, and that's so they let Parker Washington pull double duty there.
I would think.
Right? I mean, if he's replacing Christian Kirk, he's going to be on the field a ton.
Yeah, and
in this game, I would imagine he still does punt return.
Yeah. Well, who is the second punt returner for the team now? With Kirk hurt.
I do not know.
Whoever you, I'm going to say Zay. Whoever you trust to catch the ball.
Right. Sort of what they did with Christian last year, where
make sure you catch it.
Was out.
Fair catch it if you have to.
Right. Catch the ball and don't bother with it.
Right. If you right. Anything you run it back for is gravy.
Right.
Can't
get hurt.
Have anybody with bad ball security. That would be my guess, but I could be I could be wrong about that.
I agree, and I haven't really looked at that. I need to figure that out today.
Over 500 votes on this. Parker Washington blowing it away, 58.6%. Beathard second with 19.6. Despite our late push for Greg Jr., John, we can only get him up to 15.5. And Blake Hance, I think they're like, Myles Garrett still drawing breath? Yeah, he is. Okay, 6.3% in Blake Hance.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows?
You think they're going to play Blake on the left side?
Good question. Yeah, I would think just because Myles usually lines up on the other side.
He usually does. I got to believe, though, Myles Garrett's going to flip and pick the matchup that he prefers.
Yeah. I want some Blake Hance until Blake Hance shows me that I don't want him.
Yes.
So,
right. I mean, and that's not – I mean, Blake Hance shows up. Guys do it, right? Guys show up and have performance where you're like, damn. Look at this guy stepping up against a Pro Bowler. So,
that's it's.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
All right, let's say hello to XL Primetime out at Southampton today.
Now, the 2-minute drill brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit TireOutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
All right, Joe C. out at Southampton, one of his favorite haunts. Joe, great sunshine, maybe a little cool today, but not a bad day to stick one in the ground and go chase a little white ball.
It's true because, we're always looking for just like a little bit different weather for us because, look, we beat the heat for, 11 months and probably 25 days, and we got about 5 days of cold weather. Anyway, it's gorgeous, man. It's sun-splashed, temperatures kissing 60. We got a bunch of people out here. It's the XL Primetime Christmas that we have every year. The Marines are greeting the players as they come in, and their toys are filling up these boxes. And so it's such a feel-good day, as you know, like the J-Fund, like so many other things that we do. But just seeing people come in with all their toys, and they bring in hefty bags of toys, which is just awesome. And so we're looking forward to it. We got a bunch of people that are supporting us, and we totally appreciate it, but definitely ready to go out and enjoy the day.
All right, Joe, what will you be digging into today?
Well, we're definitely, staying on the Jaguars theme and what happens, how do you respond, and, looking at this Cleveland Browns team, and then also a few more things in the college football world that we definitely need to get into because of the defections in the transfer portal and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be doing, pretty much football wall to wall throughout the course of the show.
All right. Have a great show, Joe. A great cause. Go collect a bunch of toys. Make a lot of folks happy at Christmas time.
You better believe it. Thank you, man.
We appreciate it, buddy. XL Primetime out at Southampton for the next 3 hours. All right, Johnny O, what you got cooking over at Jaguars.com? You're going to save everything. You're going to fix it all the issues I've heard in the next few days at Jaguars.com. Is that true?
Yeah, I got that taken care of.
Okay.
What I was more worried about was on the Ozone podcast this week, I'm hoping to have Evan Ingram. Looking forward to talking to a veteran about sort of how you bounce back and how you come together in what I think is a really tough week. I think it's a week that's going to speak a lot to the maturity and the character of this team. If they go win this, I'm impressed with the veteran leadership and their ability to handle tough situations.
Yeah, look, win this. I think even if Trevor plays, I'm going to be impressed if they win. Under the circumstances they're in right now, this would be huge
Yeah.
to get this W with Baltimore looming. Even though you have them at
No
home,
doubt.
man, that team's quarterback is the starter. Okay, he is their starter. There's no question about facing a backup unless something happens to Lamar in the next week or so. So that'll do it for us today, John. Always good to see you. We'll talk to you Sunday. It's getting here quicker, a little bit more so this week. Tony,
week.
breakfast on D-Rock tomorrow.
Yes, it will be.
He's a bum.
It's like every week.
Yeah,
he relied on Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, he relied on Calvin Ridley, who let him down, but he also picked Tank Dell, who got hurt and got him a big fat 0.
Good work, D-Rock.
So, nice work. We
I don't like to
appreciate
see
it.
guys get hurt, but if they're D-Rock's guys,
Yeah, and especially if he picks division players.
Right,
you know?
exactly right.
You know,
Who does he think he is?
I was going to tell him who he should pick this week, but I think that would be cruel, so I'm not going to say that. Pockets, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.
See you. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody out there, appreciate you weighing in. If you haven't voted in today's poll, you've got plenty of time to do it. We'll leave that up there until tomorrow morning. Over 500 of you already expressing your confidence in Parker Washington to fill in for Christian Kirk. So, for Johnny O, for Tony Smith, and for Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. Thank you for listening to Jaguars Today. XL Primetime next live at Southampton on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's another Weight Loss Wednesday. Awaken 180 Weight Loss in the Jackson